Okay, after dealing with the madness that was Lollipop Chainsaw, I think it's time to give my brain a rest and look at a less maddening game. Perhaps a game that came out in a simpler time, like 2003. A game that revolves around racing. Yeah, that'll work. Let's take a look at Kirby Air Ride. Now, I say that this game is a bit less insane than my previous review, but when you think about it, the whole concept of Kirby is pretty damned odd. Seriously, think about it. A pink, round thing that sucks up enemies and temporarily takes their powers. Well, I guess I can add this to the list along with Pikmin of creatures that I can't figure out just what the hell they are. But despite the odd premise, the Kirby franchise has been going strong since 1992, and with the release of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, shows no sign of stopping. But in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a bit of a departure from the series with Kirby Air Ride. So, is this title worth checking out, or is it best left in the bargain bin? Well, let's ride on and find out. This game has no story mode, nor does it have any main campaign to speak of, so let's get down to the basics. There are 3 modes in which to play. The first mode is called Air Ride. This is the standard racing mode for this game, and can be played against 3 bots, 3 local opponents, or by connecting game cubes, if people still do that sort of thing. The objective of this mode is pretty straightforward. Race faster than all of your opponents and finish in first. While racing, you can swallow various foes in your path. Many of these foes will temporarily give you powers which will give you an edge against your opponents. Be it the ability to shoot fire, Link's sword and hat, and of course familiar faces to the franchise such as the microphone. But you may be wondering how you literally play this mode. Well, let's put it this way. You could use an Atari 2600 controller to play this. In other words, you use 1 joystick and 1 button. By default, you are always moving forward, in order to suck up enemies, interact with objects, or use the boost/brake, you then use the A button. After playing through some of the levels, you will start to notice that you are completing challenges. There are 120 challenges to complete in each mode, and completing many of these challenges unlocks extra music, skins, levels, and of course, vehicles in which to use. There is of course the standard Warp Star, and then there are vehicles that excel at gliding, vehicles that use wheels, and what Kirby game would be complete without the nefarious Meta Knight and the dastardly King Dedede? Along with this mode, there is a second mode named Top Ride. In this mode, you race around tracks in a top-down view. There are 2 vehicles from which to choose in this mode. There is first a Free Star, which allows complete 360-degree movement, and then there is the Steer Star, which allows movement to the left or right while moving forward automatically. These races function at a base level similarly to the Air Ride races. You travel to the end of each course, sucking up enemies and gaining powers on the way, albeit different powers than the previous mode. Due to the nature of this mode, the levels are quite small, but this is made up for with a larger amount of laps. The final game mode is named City Trial. This mode begins with 4 players in a city on the default vehicle. The objective of this mode is to gain power-ups, find other vehicles, and fight off your opponents for 5 minutes, or however much time you please if you mess with the settings. While in this city, there is a decent amount of exploration to be done, and there are even special events that occur here and there, ranging from out-of-control fires to UFO invasions. The power-ups you collect, and whichever vehicle you are using once time is up, is then moved on to the next round. If you finish this round without a vehicle, then tough shit. After time runs out, then you move on to a minigame. Each of these minigames are chosen at random, and may be a drag race, a brawl to see how many foes you can defeat, or even a gliding competition. This may screw you over if you find yourself ill-equipped for whichever minigame is chosen, but the gambler in me finds this rather exciting. And now for the reviewing. The graphics really are nothing spectacular, but this game was released 9 years ago, so I can afford to be a little lenient. However, despite being basic, the game does manage to pull off some fantastic visuals, which are really reflected in most of the levels. As for the gameplay, each vehicle has its own unique handling, which can add to the challenge and/or the fun of playing. However, there are some vehicles which I don't see the need of being in this game, as the negatives of them really outweigh the positives. As for the AI, the opponent's difficulty level can be changed to your liking, but oftentimes they will only pick vehicles relative to what you choose, and not vehicles which would genuinely help them in the current level, which makes for some easy fake-outs. So in conclusion, is this game worth your time and money? Well, this game is really nothing spectacular, especially when you consider the other racing games that came out around the same time. But this is an interesting alternative to normal racing games, and oddly enough, this game really reminds me of Diddy Kong Racing for some reason. Which is odd because I haven't played that game in this decade, or the last one. So if you like what you've heard about this game, you can find this game online fairly easily for around $10. Well, it looks like I've finally regained my sanity and can get back to normal reviewing. So until next time, this is E-Dog saying, even an electronic brain pancake crystal elderly. God damn it!